The WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning. Carol Baldwin is in the studio to give you advice on what to do with your lawns and your gardens. And anytime there's some severe weather in the forecast, there's always a little extra this and that. And today's, it's all about the cold and the wind. Good morning.
It is.
Carol, how are you?
I'm good. Warmed up, at least in here. It's cold out.
Yeah.
It is cold out. So.
Yeah, it's going to get colder,
and
they say.
And it is. It is February. It's always been one of those things. Apparently, this is an El Nino, and just reading a couple of different things here this morning. I'm going to get rid of that one there. Just had to quit something. That this El Nino may even be coming back one more time, but that's what's responsible for this cold. Is that the warm waters off the Pacific coast and the winds and things like that throw all the weather things on the east coast of the United States. That's what brings the mid-Atlantic storms, the nor'easters, and things like that to us. Is what goes on the Pacific coast.
Right.
So bring in the pets and the plants if you haven't already.
20s, they say.
Yeah, they're saying 20s with this wind. It's going to be tough because you can't really. It's hard to keep covers on things. Plants are already blooming. It's one of those things. We had such a mild December and January. Now that February shows up, and we're just it's horrible. We're just literally blowing through February with the way these winds. Yesterday there was gale warnings for the winds. I think we're still having those winds up in the with gusts up in the 30s, but the winds being at like 15 to 20 miles an hour or better. And that's, the only good thing with that is frost isn't settling, but the temperatures are dropping. It's blowing away any bit of warmth that's trying to absorb. Usually, if the wind would just stop blowing and you stood in the sun, you'd be warm. Because 65 degrees, though, is chilly. It would not be that bad. You have 65 degrees when that wind's blowing, and it cuts right through you. But I think today's high is only supposed to be, around lower 50s, I believe.
So if the gusts are 40 miles an hour, I was thinking if you're throwing beads to somebody for Mardi Gras, you better aim into the wind so the wind
carries it back. So, if I wanted to hit you and the wind was blowing this way, throw them and oh, look, catch. You'll never know who threw them to you.
Take the wind into account when you're trying to hit your target.
Exactly. Yeah, if I don't know what the wind's blowing in Louisiana, in New Orleans today, but
we have Mardi Gras here too.
Yeah, that's
true. We have our own version of it.
Yeah.
Down at Harry's. And
I was going to say Leesburg had theirs over on Saturday, and that was probably a washout, I'm guessing.
Because of the rain?
Because of the rain and the cold. And so.
Windy today, yeah.
Yes, very windy today. It is hard to put the frost blankets on. If you haven't brought your plants in yet, you need to. We did have rain, which is a good thing, that at least the root zones of plants in the ground are not stressed in that fashion. But if we can get over this cold here, I think we've got a couple of days coming up that should be at least a little more mild. just you're not going to do anything to your plants. You'll just make sure get them opened
But for
up.
tonight, this is
for
the freeze
tonight,
one.
we're worried about you're going to cover if you've got some things that maybe have started to sprout out. Some vines that you prematurely cut back off of those trellises are trying to sprout. You might just go get a couple bags of mulch and just open those bags just dump it right on top of those areas, and that'll hold some of that warmth in because the frostbite. And then in a few days, you can just rake that off of there. It's not gonna do anything. Just leave it.
But it'll hold the warmth.
It'll hold that warmth in.
Yeah, okay.
And that's all that's why frost blankets have to touch the ground. Just wrapping the top of a tree doesn't really do anything. You actually get more damage because wherever it touches is going to get burned.
So I'm guessing my banana plant will finally meet its demise tonight.
There's a good possibility.
It did pretty good with the last cold spell.
Right. But yeah, a lot of them, if they were a little more protected, they probably did. But this wind is just pulling moisture out of the plant at all the plants. I mean, you be outside for any length of time, and we have chapped skin. Just imagine what your plants. They're going through that very similar thing where that moisture is just being blown out of them. So with the rains we had, that was beneficial. When it warms up a little bit, you might need to go out there and just hose out. Not today, not tomorrow, because they're both going to be really cold days, really windy. We have those couple mild days, a little less wind coming up. I believe they're over the weekend because today's Tuesday. I want to say it's near I forget where I saw that on. I'd have to go find my weather. My weather.
So what's
thing
over the
again.
weekend? I'm confused.
That we have a little bit more mild.
Oh, okay.
A couple of mild days coming up. Let me see where my.
I can tell you my AccuWeather.
Okay, I was going to say Friday's looking like it's going to warm up pretty nice. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a little bit Monday. By the Weather Channel, we've got next week actually doesn't look too bad, but I think they might be lying. I don't trust it anymore. But if we get a couple of mild days, you might want to get out there with the spray end on the hose and just throw a little water in there just to bring up some of the humidity. Try to bring a little moisture back into those areas in the landscape if they're feeling dry. And just,
when the Weather Service uses the word warning, that means they're pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and it looks like that. And what happens with us is it's not. They throw you off when they say overnight. It's actually in that early morning hours.
Oh, yeah.
When that temperature actually drops for us here.
Yeah.
And I do believe that this report here is saying between 3 a.m. and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
It's not really Tuesday night. It is Wednesday morning.
Right.
So when you get up Wednesday morning, it's going to be darn cold, and it's going to stay that way. And our coldest temperatures will probably happen
Just
right
dawn,
before sunrise.
Yeah.
Right. It always seems to be that last few degrees. So don't get up there that you're getting ready to leave for work and uncover everything as you're getting in the car. Leave the covers on until you get home.
Do you know what I haven't seen in a long time is the pictures in the news of the orange grove farmers putting out all those hot
the smudge pots.
Smudge
and things.
pots. Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
No, they don't do that anymore.
Why not?
That was a diesel fuel or kerosene fuel. I think environmentally it became
really? So what do they do to protect the?
They use ice now if they can.
Ice.
Yeah. Or I've even heard now these are big areas. When there's no wind, that they will actually hire helicopters
To do what?
to make wind over where they will actually hover.
So they're flying all night long?
They fly over during those colder periods when those temperatures drop in order to keep frost off.
Wow.
That's a big money operation
I would
with
think so,
that.
yeah.
But it's most of the time they will ice them. They have the micro misting systems that will just ice over. Nowadays, you see those. You'll see the pictures of the groves where they ice them. With wind like this, you're not going to be able to have that happen. Are they really? They're calling for a freeze warning. It's not saying hard freeze.
Okay, so 20
it's
degrees is not hard.
Because it's not going to last over 6 hours.
We are up to the point where we take our first break, so if you want to call in, you have plenty of time, a good 45 minutes left to talk to Carol Ann about your plants, your lawns, your gardens. The number is 622-9622. We do invite you to call in. Feel free to interrupt us, change the subject if you want to. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday. Windy and cool with a high of 57 to 61. Partly cloudy and chilly Tuesday night. Lows ranging from 35 in the coldest inland spots to 41 along the coast. Wednesday will be mostly sunny, breezy, and quite cool. High 55 to 59. Thursday, sunny and cool. High 59 to 63. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Because music stirs up strong emotions, it makes it easier for our brain to store information about that event. Showering less will definitely help most people's complexions because hot showers melt away the oils that seal in moisture and keep skin supple. Dogs are man's best friend, right? But new research from Nature's Scientific Reports now shows that dogs also do nice things for other dogs.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric.
Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara,
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show, too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
WWWOCA
Your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. 1370 WOCA.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to answer your questions about your lawns and your gardens. There's a freeze warning in effect for tomorrow morning, as Carol Ann pointed out. We're saying tonight, but it really, truly is tomorrow morning from, what did it say, 3 till 9?
3
till 9?
3 a.m. to 9 a.m.
And, of course, windy, hazardous conditions today from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're lifting it at 6 p.m., but...
I guess the winds are supposed
maybe
to die
they'll be dying down by
some.
then, and then the cold
Right.
temperatures, I guess.
Then the temperatures will begin to drop. It'll blow all those clouds away, and then all that heat.
That's too
that we
bad,
did
because
get,
maybe it would snow, right?
Well, that's it. Is by the time when our temperatures drop down to something that could produce snow-like precipitation, we're generally very clear. It doesn't happen when we're overcast.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a
and
little
those
bit
are white fluffy clouds over there.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
moving
yeah.
along pretty quickly, and so no, just watch out. You got limbs and things like that, coming out of your
Oh,
trees.
gosh,
You'll
yeah,
be cleaning up a lot of that stuff. Somebody earlier I had heard somebody say, get the umbrellas. Your picnic
Definitely.
table umbrellas.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, we've been windy for 3 or 4 days now.
Yeah.
Put them away. Don't let them get damaged. Why do that? Put your lawn chairs somewhere safe and things like that.
So
Secure
I don't know if
things.
this is a dumb question or not, but you said that the orange farmers.
Right, the orange groves,
Put some misty water on the leaves, and then the freeze protects them.
Right, keeps them at 32 degrees.
So could I do that same thing with my banana plant?
Only if you have such a fine mister, and even then, 32 degrees with the banana tree is still pretty.
I've never been known as a fine mister myself.
No. But no, the water, you can't just put your oscillating sprinkler on them and expect that to be
that wouldn't work.
a proper amount. No, then you get a lot of icicles and things like that.
That
But
would weigh it down.
You get a lot of mess. And the thing is when people try to do these things at home, well, one, you're going to have a heck of a water bill unless you're on your own well, because you have to run that water all night long.
That's true too, yeah.
You can't turn it off. That's the only thing, is that you cannot turn that water off even once it's frozen until it warms up. And you're still going to have some cold damage. You're still going to get. They do it to protect the fruit, to keep that fruit from dropping below. But with this wind and things like that, that's going to be an impossibility on doing that. And I don't think, well, now that our citrus industry has moved so much further south, even though the map shows quite a good ways, it's still above where the predominant amount of citrus is at. Just, it's more of a protect the pets, the plants, the pets, the spouse,
The spouse.
The spouse. If he's been in the doghouse, bring him in.
Was that testing me to see if I was listening?
If the spouse has been in the doghouse, let him back in. He might be able to make up for it at Valentine's Day. But with that all said, just use caution with your plants. Use caution with yourself. When you're out there as well. Watch out for the tree limbs coming down.
It's just something we need to be, I guess, prepared for. I guess is the best way to say that. Yeah.
And that's it. It's nothing. Nothing horrible. Plants can be replaced and things like that. Helps keep the rest of us in business.
That's right. That's right. You go get some new ones.
Go get some new ones. But I do got one thing. With the Master Gardener Spring Festival coming up March 12th and 13th, you've got 2 upcoming soil testing dates. One is this Thursday, that you can have your pH tested for your flower or vegetable beds or your lawn, wherever you've had an issue. And the next one will be the 10th of March. And I got knees. Maybe not. The cost for soil testing nowadays is $2 for your sample, and that just covers their costs overall to maintain the digital pH meter and things like that, and the other supplies that are required. I've gone through before on how to do this. You want to collect up from several areas within your location. You dig your hole down about 6 inches or so, grab a small amount of soil, do this from several locations, mix all those soils up, and bring in about a quarter of a cup or so, but it needs to be dry. So if you wanted to do it on Thursday, get your soil sample together today, get it dry, get it dropped off no later than first thing on Thursday morning. You can drop it off tomorrow afternoon. You need to put it on a paper towel, set it somewhere where you can get it dry, maybe put it in a low oven for a short period of time to get rid of that moisture, because that's what they need it to be bone dry. Don't put it in a sandwich baggie, because you'll see that it will be an immediate amount of moisture. They usually recommend a small paper bag, kind of thing that. Yeah, here's our leaf blower.
It's every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesday morning leaf blowing. But so you can get your soil samples done, and you can get these done before the festival. That way, if you have any questions about it, and you come out to the festival, you can get some of those questions answered. Another thing for the festival is a youth poster contest, and this is really kind of cool that they have opened up a poster contest for elementary, actually kindergarten through the 12th grade, a poster contest, and the theme is pollinators, birds, bees, bats, and butterflies. And it's divided into 3 different judging groups: elementary, middle, and high school. And if interested students should check with their schools for participation, and homeschooled students should submit their entries through their homeschool groups. And the first place poster contest winners in each category at the county level receive a $50 gift card. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they will be, I'm sure, displayed during the Master Gardener Spring Festival in the Kids Zone, which has expanded to more than 4,800 square feet, and that Kids Zone is really cool. The kids get to make butterfly wings. They have all kinds of insects on display, real ones. They're no longer alive, but where you can see different bugs and get an idea on what kind of creatures and things like that. And this is all just a nature and to come into the festival is $1 admission. Children under 12 are free, so there's your kids wanting to come into that. Please
That's
leave
good.
the pets at home. Service animals are, of course, welcome for the visually impaired and things like that. But leave the pet at home so that we don't want them stepped on. Or tripped over and anybody getting hurt.
Or biting anybody.
That's right. We got the Bug Man. He's the one with
pooping.
his huge collection of insects from Central Florida. So, Master Gardener Spring Festival is upcoming. Great place to learn about what grows here and how to do it.
Spring Festival. As we're talking about freezing temperatures, we're talking about
We're
the Spring
talking about the
Festival.
Spring Festival, and that's usually, and it happens to fall this year right before, and it always does, right before our last expected frost date. Last expected frost date for Marion County is the 15th of March, and we're the 12th and 13th. Always falls that way. We always manage to pull it off. We've had some quite chilly temperatures. It usually is like one day or the other that we'll end up with one that's kind of on the cold side, or it warms up later in the day. But always a good time. They're having, I guess, several food trucks out there this time. I guess it's the new rage is the food truck. They seem
I
to
don't
be
know why.
popping up
It is
every
interesting, isn't it?
It's the new thing in. I mean,
I've always liked food trucks, though.
They used to go by different terms.
Yeah, roach coach.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that,
yeah.
but they used to be the roach coach, and now it's food trucks, and it's all the rage at all kinds of different events.
I know. I kind of like that.
and I think it's a neat idea. So. It's just one of all kinds of educational opportunities. I hope
The
everybody
problem with the
will
food truck is the same thing as any buffet.
trying to decide which one you want, what do you want? And if you're with a group, can you get everybody to buy something different so you can sample?
Right.
But usually it's everybody kind of going, well, that sounds good to me too. I just want a burger.
There's an entrepreneurial idea. Have the sample truck.
Have the sampler truck. There you go. Yep. Where you get a little taste of everything they make. But no, so come on out for the Master Gardener Spring Festival. We should have some interesting things. I know I'm trying something new in the vegetable garden, and I'm gonna hope that maybe next Tuesday's weather's just a little bit warmer. I've got some new planting pots that I'm gonna do, because I usually work within the container gardens in the vegetable garden, and we sell these containers. They're called smart pots. If you go online, you can look up smart pots. I tried to get them as an advertiser. I'm still going to keep trying. I met and talked to the one guy when I went down to Fort Lauderdale last month, and he gave me several samples to bring back, and I'm gonna set them up there, and we'll see whether or not we can get some. They sort of offered me some samples.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
That maybe we'll be able to give away.
I don't quite get the concept.
The smart pots. I wish I would have brought one in. They're a fabric container, a real heavy woven fabric made in the USA. That's a good thing. And I think Joe and I found that they're made in Colorado, I believe, or Oklahoma. And they come in different sizes. I think I have a 10-gallon and a 20-gallon, and then one that's 7 square feet. So it's about a 36-inch round container that's about maybe about a foot deep. So it's almost like here's a little mini garden.
Okay.
You can plant directly in them. You just use your favorite garden mix in there, your potting mix. If you want to make your own, do your own in there. Water it well initially, but these pots, unlike a plastic pot, unlike the kiddie pool where we've always got, you can do the kiddie pool and plant in, these pots breathe. So it's allowing, just like in the soil, soil breathes in the ground. These are pots above ground that are still going to breathe, but they're heavy duty, UV stable, just nice, and they're big pots. And what's nice is that they are portable. If you're only going to plant in the spring, you can empty the dirt out of these, hose them out, let them dry, fold them up, and put them away. So they take up, a small amount of space on your shelf in your garage or shed versus a stack of large planters. And they're really kind of cool.
All right.
So.
And we are up to the point where we are at the bottom of the hour, so we'll take another break. Remember, the phone lines are open. Carol Ann is with us another half hour, so give us a call if you want to speak to Carol Ann on the air. The number is 622-9622. If you're listening out of the area code is 352. So the complete number, 352-622-9622. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Voting already underway in the first in the nation primary.
As many as 500,000 New Hampshire voters will go to the polls today. Weather should not be a factor. Donald Trump is expected to handily win the Republican primary. The real battle is for second place. John Kasich, Jeb Bush, and Chris Christie have spent most of the time and money here in the Granite State, each hoping for a strong showing.
Fox Radio's John Decker in Manchester, New Hampshire.
For Democrats, Bernie Sanders is looking to get a strong victory after a close finish in Iowa. Hillary Clinton has essentially conceded defeat here. She's hoping to keep the contest against Sanders very tight.
The president will ask Congress for more than $1.8 billion in emergency funding to fight the Zika virus. And a former prosecutor who sent an innocent man to death row in Texas using false testimony and withholding evidence has been disbarred. Fox News, we report. You decide.
A Napa guy knows the good thing about an old truck is you can treat it like an old truck, meaning however you want. Because the paint job looks best covered in mud. Dents build character, and unpaved roads are unscientifically proven to be 70% more fun. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep that thing running longer, stronger. Because it's not old, it's broken in. That's Napa know-how.
Tammy's blood boiled.
This is ridiculous.
How dare they not let her on the cheer squad?
Who wants to cheer?
She could totally cheer as good as those other girls, especially Mara. Well, Tammy would get her revenge. She found Mara's car and her brand new cheer uniform was hanging right in the window. She reached in and stole it. Then, the theft was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Cheer burglar, January 19th, 2014. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retooled.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. We are Force. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
We are Force.
Hospice of Marion County has an urgent need for volunteers to share a conversation with someone, run errands, hold someone's hand. All you need is a willingness to help others. Our volunteers believe the blessings they receive far exceed the services they offer. Will you consider serving, caring, and making a difference? Call today, 873-7441. Hospice of Marion County, making more moments of life possible.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source, WOCA.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. It's a beautiful looking Tuesday morning, even though the forecast is making us aware that there's some threatening cold temperatures and windy conditions coming our way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think right now they're saying it's 46 degrees with a feel like of 43. Because the way the wind's blowing.
Oh, a 3-degree difference.
3-degree difference.
No big deal.
No big deal. I was looking to see what the wind speeds were, if I can find it, but I don't see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Winds are at about 14. So it's only going, it looks like it's going to take till about 2 o'clock this afternoon to get to 55. But at that point, the winds are going to be like 20 miles an hour. So it's really going to keep it on the chilly side, even if, you were out in the sun. So long as you can get out of the wind, it might not be too bad.
And get a kite. Go get a kite.
Might even be a little strong for a kite.
A little too strong for a kite?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning. This is your regular caller calling in.
Good morning.
See, wind chill is definitely a human thing. It has nothing to do with plants, right?
No, I mean, because of the wind pulls moisture out of the plant tissue. So in a way, the wind is detrimental to plants just as it would be. I mean, for them, do they feel any colder? I don't know, but I do know that it does pull the moisture out of the plant.
Yeah. The real reason I called is I noticed when I drive through, like, my subdivision, like a couple of weeks back or whatever, when we had our first cold spell, some of the people on their larger, taller plants really bundle them up and then actually tape them more or less shut. And they kind of like leave it that way for, I don't know till when, but we had I think it was last Monday or Tuesday, it was almost in the low 80s, I think.
Right.
Is that bad for a plant when it's bundled up like that? Because they seem to leave them alone for at least a month or so until we're kind of clear of the bad weather.
Yeah, that's a little too long. Most of your frost blankets and things like that do breathe. But they don't allow enough light through. I mean, you're usually good for 2 or 3 days. That if you can put it down and secure it and leave it for say if you put it down on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, if you left it through, because I think they're only saying we're got the real cold nights, I think, through Wednesday into Thursday morning, and that, say, Thursday you took it off because it was going to be nice Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that would be what you would need to do. Most of your frostbite, you're good for a few days, but if you're trying to, they do need more air circulation through there. You do need the sunlight coming through there. Leaving it on for an extended period of time is not beneficial to the plant.
Would that actually kill the plant? Or
it's going to probably cause it's probably going to cause some defoliation. Sure, and it could possibly do some permanent kill it. I'm not sure. It could, I guess, because you're depriving it of sufficient light, sufficient air circulation. You're inviting in disease problems. You're inviting in just stresses to that plant that you could avoid by just uncovering them.
Yeah.
You don't have to uncover it every morning, but once your cold time, because leaving it covered now is going to help to protect that from that transpiration from that wind. But, leaving it covered once it starts to get up, when the nighttime temperatures are going to be at 40 degrees, continuing to leave it covered is really detrimental to the plant.
Yeah, well, let's hope that this is the last cold week of of the winter now, although I know we've got some time to go yet because I'm ready to start using my air conditioner already.
No, not me. Well, I like the warm weather, so I don't need an air conditioner anyway. But no, I think we may have. Unfortunately, with that El Nino and just what I was reading a little bit this morning, that it looks like there might be something coming again. But all you have to do is wait and see. It's they really with the El Nino, you almost can't predict. It's the wind conditions because it's all the way over on the Pacific coast and having to come across here to the Atlantic. But many times for us, just the way the fronts go, they don't always come all the way down to us if it's a normal front, but the El Ninos do seem to come across low enough even to affect our weather patterns.
Okay, well, thank you and stay warm.
All righty, you too. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And it's funny because I'm going to say supposedly had 3 thunderstorms. I wasn't here for 2, or I did not.
Oh, really?
I heard one. I think I slept through one that somebody else said, oh, yeah, we had thunder. And I was in Fort Lauderdale for the other one, and so I don't know if it did or not. And everybody's going, well, where's our warming weather? I might back down. I might back down.
So the theory is that you have to hear it.
Well,
it's like the tree in the forest that you didn't hear fall.
Well, but it didn't. Was it wishful thinking that one person heard thunder, or was it actually thunder? Was it one of those kind of things?
By the way, speaking of people giving you information, I heard from 2 different people that we might have snow in Ocala tomorrow morning.
I heard that maybe up in the Gainesville area there could be flurries come through. But again, unless there's some cloud cover coming in with that, and it's it's
see,
possible, right? Because you've got to have that moisture.
I'm gonna have my camera ready just in case.
Yeah, we'll probably miss it because it won't be out somewhere dark where you can see it.
Yeah.
I think the dew point I just saw is like 25 degrees, so that's not a whole lot of. At that point, your moisture there, humidity was pretty low at, I just glanced at it, 40-something%. If it comes back up here really quick, what was our humidity's 43% with a dew point at 25 degrees. So I don't know whether or not you'll get, too much moisture in there because it's blowing. So unless some of that wind dies down at that point, and that could be when it is that early morning time. We do have less wind usually, so if there is enough moisture in the clouds in the area, so keep an eye out.
So the dew point is what we would look at if we lived in an area that snowed, then we would know.
I'm not real sure how that all works in conjunction, but the humidity, the moisture, that's moisture in the air. It's more over what your moisture is up above, what's in those clouds, and those are nice from here, white clouds that we've got.
They don't look like they're going to do anything.
No, they just look like, hold some warmth in. They're
clouds,
blocking the sun in some areas.
And next week, this time, we'll probably be talking about something totally different. The weather will change completely.
And it's a good possibility. But this is, too, still the time to go ahead and begin your plant seeds if you have it for your spring garden, your tomato seeds, your pepper seeds. If I like to start my squash and things in containers because I like to get it a good start in a controlled environment before I put it out in the garden instead of just direct seeding out in the garden. And so, go ahead and get started. If you don't have or you want to speed up germination, take your little seed tray, slip it in it. If you bought the commercial one that's got the little clear plastic lid, get it all planted, set it on top of the refrigerator. That refrigerator is going to be warm enough. It's going to warm the soil. It's going to give you a nice warm area. Once they start coming up, you do need to take the cover off and get it in as much sun as you can, especially like morning sun. Otherwise, you end up with kind of leggy plants. Once the plants start getting some real leaves on them, you want to start a weak fertilizer solution, whether or not you like the organic, like the kelp meal and things like that, or liquid fish emulsions are usually recommended, or something very mild if you don't mind, the chemical kind of things. It would be a very weak Miracle Grow kind of product, done at half the rate that you would normally water an indoor plant with, just so that you don't burn those little tiny tender roots.
Yeah, right.
But get started now. If you have a heat mat or you want a heat mat, I have seen the heat mats that you just plug in. They're as big as one tray. They're a little pricey, but they're reusable, and they will raise the temperature. I believe they claim about 5 degrees over room temperature. So underneath there, they plug in, and they're near the seed racks or on the seed racks in the stores.
Oh, okay. Good place to find it.
Yeah.
Wow, the show's going so quick today.
It is.
All right, we will take a little break. Be right back. Remember, the phone number if you'd like to speak to Carol Ann is 622-9622, area code 352, and then 622-9622. We'll be right back in the garden with Carol Ann.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday. Windy and cool with a high of 57 to 61. Partly cloudy and chilly Tuesday night. Lows ranging from 35 in the coldest inland spots to 41 along the coast. Wednesday will be mostly sunny, breezy, and quite cool. High 55 to 59. Thursday, sunny and cool. High 59 to 63. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Hi, this is Vanessa Lane Jennings with the Jennings Law Firm, located here in beautiful Ocala. Join me every single Friday at 10:30 for Legal Lane. We'll be discussing various legal topics such as family law, criminal law, contracts, and much more. So this is a chance to call in with your legal questions and answered. That's every Friday, 10:30, right here, WOCA The Source.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
WOCA, WOCA,
AM 1370.
96.3, 96.3 FM.
Your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
Time is flying this morning. 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. We're talking about gardening and especially preparing our gardens and our plants from the cold and the wind. And Robin just came in and told us about a photo somebody posted of what was it again?
It's an artichoke.
Artichoke. It does not look like what you see in the
no, because it's allowed to bloom
in the buffet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. That's if
artichoke is a good tasting. It doesn't look like it would taste good, but it is a good. It's almost like a meat. It's almost like chicken.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's a very it's a fleshy or like a mushroom
Yeah.
kind of thing, something.
But as a flower, look at how pretty it is.
The flowers, it's gorgeous, and I think probably if anybody searched artichoke bloom, they'd probably they'd be able to find it. We got it, and I'll probably give it away in another week or so. I booked the Rooftop Growing Guide. I don't know how many rooftops we would have planting here in Marion County.
Yeah, really.
I think this is more aimed at the urban gardener, but there's, I'm sure, some tips in here that can be used anywhere you're going to garden. But I think it was last week, we were talking a little bit about crop rotation, where when people have a small garden and trying to keep track of how to rotate it, and here's what a crop rotation plant families, because you want to change some of these plants that your cabbage in the wintertime, and I can never pronounce them, your Brassicaceae family contains your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, Chinese cabbage, collards, kale, kohlrabi, mustards, nasturtiums, which are a flower people eat, radish, rutabaga, turnips. They're all in that same family. So even if you're thinking, well, I planted my cabbage down here last fall, I'll plant my turnips down here. Well, no, not really, because you're putting the same family in that area. But for us, we can change from the Brassicaceae to say that the tomato, the Solanaceae nightshade family, which is your tomatoes, your eggplant, peppers, potatoes, tomatoes. All of those are in the same family. So you really have to pay attention to that, and maybe I'll try to get that one printed out so that we get a little better thing to play with here. But even your carrot family, I won't try to pronounce the technical name, the botanical, but it has anise, carrots, caraway, celery, your coriander, which is the same thing as cilantro, dill, fennel, and parsley. So here's some herbs that you might be trying to plant together, or you planted them at one point and you're moving them around. They're all in the same family. So a little bit of research, a little bit of looking into that. Some problems you may have had in the past and going, why can't I get that to grow here? It could be that you just need to stop growing it there for a season or two and try to figure out how to get your rotation going. And that does really help to eliminate or reduce pest and disease problems. So will the solarization that we normally do in the summer months. In the winter months, it's just the sun doesn't seem to be quite as intense, and the colder temperature, it's harder to get those temperatures down. I mean, you could try it right now. You're not too far, or not too soon, actually. If you had your bed all ready to plant, and it's empty right now, or you wanted to make sure, or empty it and get it all prepared for spring, get your compost in there, get your manures in there, get that all tilled up nicely or spaded in, rake it smooth, water it well, and cover it touching with clear plastic, clear visqueen. Go to the paint department in the big box store, hardware store, get you a roll of plastic and get that, make sure that it's touching. Water the ground first. Put it down, weight it down, even if you weight it with a little bit of soil along the edge, and let that sit for about 6 weeks. That's going to cook down underground. It's going to kill out some pest eggs and disease issues and some of the weed seeds that may have been growing, because you need that to heat up a good 6 or 8 inches. Now, when it's finished and you're going to take that, say, the weekend after the Master Gardener Festival, you've bought your plants, you've got everything together, you take your plastic off and plant. Don't spade it again, don't till it again, just plant. You know, don't disturb that what you've just fixed up. And that's going to help, with some of your issues if you've had a problem before. And you can try, you can do that now. It's going to help some. I'm not sure how hot it'll get underneath there. Sun intensity can get pretty good at this time of year.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hi, Carol Ann. This is Hugh again.
Yeah.
I have another question I forgot to ask. I had I put ryegrass down, as you know, and I've got some left over, about a third in the bag. No, I'm not going to use that till next fall or early winter.
Okay.
How should I store that? Should I put that in like a couple of large Tupperware and kind of like take the air out of it, seal it, or just leave it in the bag? Or
I mean, if you can take and wrap that bag up real good and tape that shut, and even just then wrap it up into something else would be fine. You just want to keep the moisture away from it. If you can keep it, the hard part is trying to keep it cool. So I don't know if you have a place in the house, or if your garage is cooler. A regular outdoor shed is generally in the summertime going to cook any of that seed.
Yeah, I'll probably, what I'll do then is probably bring it in the house. And I got a back bedroom closet that is not used much. It's got plenty of space. I can just, tuck it away there until next fall.
Right, and you might even take, if you can wrap that bag up, if you can put it in a bucket that has a lid, that way know if there was any little, because you never know if there's any weevil seed or anything in that. We've all been victim of, you buy the bag of bird seed, and it's in the bucket, and then one day you open that bucket and little moths start flying out. You don't want that to be an issue in your closet over the summer while you're not even looking in there. So if you can actually wrap that bag up real good, tape that shut real good, and set that into another bucket that you can put a lid on, you're gonna, I think you'll keep it better.
Very good. I've got the perfect bucket for that. Thank you very much.
There you go.
I will not tell my wife what's back there, because if she did, I'd have to probably take it out, put it in the garage or something.
Right. Well, just if it's closed, nothing should be able to get out of it, and that'll be, you'll be set with that.
What would be the shelf life of grass seed like that?
Normally, I think the bags. For the producers of it, they have to, I believe, have it tested every other year. So I would probably, if you bought a bag, I would try to get it all used by that second year, only because it's your germination rate's going to really begin to drop after that.
Okay, we'll do it. Thanks a lot.
All righty, you're welcome.
Got 5 minutes left if you want to call Carol Ann. The number is 352-622-9622. And I guess we need to remind over and over for the people coming and going that there's a freeze warning.
There is a freeze warning for overnight for the early morning hours, 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. That those temperatures can get down near 20, I think they're saying into the low to mid 20s here in the central part of the state, and we're going to have some heavy winds today, especially during the day at 20 to 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 40. Any lawn furniture, if you haven't put that away, put it away instead of it blowing down the street. If your trash cans are out for the garbage collection, I think Mondays and Wednesdays, get them put away promptly, or you'll be chasing your garbage can down the street.
That's a good point.
Finding your garbage can down at the neighbors is sometimes infuriating to them. Be careful out there. Your plants, we still have some cold weather. If you haven't covered them, some of your damage might already be done, but you might, some of those tender plants, you might want to go ahead and get those covered. Make sure your cover comes all the way to the ground. If you have some things that you've cut back and they're still just about ground level, you might even just think of, you're going to be mulching later on. Go ahead and get you a couple bags and just open them up and dump them on top of those areas, and that will hold some of that moisture or that heat in, that ground level heat in, as well as some of that moisture to keep that from blowing out of them. The transpiration that occurs with all these high winds, we go out, our face is chapped when we come in. Imagine our plants are out there getting the same thing, but it's not going to really pay to try to hose your plants down today. Wait till we get some of that warmer weather, which it looks like they're predicting at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So.
Got a couple minutes left here. So what are you personally going to do? You live with a lot of trees.
I have a lot of trees around, so a lot of my stuff's protected. I do duck when I run around, come through the yard wondering when branches are going to come out of the trees. But most of my tender stuff is either in the house, kind of thing, and otherwise it's let nature do its thing. If you're not tough enough to live outside in my yard, you don't belong there.
I always worry about those peacocks in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
What do they do in the cold?
I guess
frozen
they
peacock tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it could be if you find the peacocks falling out of the trees. I'm not sure.
It's not fun. It would be sad, wouldn't it?
They're big birds.
But they must survive somehow.
They do. They've been through and they've survived the coyotes in our area and everything else.
That's true. That's true.
But when you see a peacock on a Sunday morning in front of the liquor store, I do sort of worry about, what were they doing?
About?
Yeah, they trying to get a little hair of the dog and
little hair of the dog. Well, as always, it goes too fast. You always brighten up our Tuesdays. Thank you for doing that.
Everybody stay warm today.
Yeah.
It's a cold one.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Larry.
Here comes Stanley Spencer.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.